Good morning, y'all. It's Timidity. It's a hot one. If you like dumb bitches, then I'm not one. Ayy. I just had to rhyme. I'm sorry. I just thought of the phrase, there's no right way to be for the wrong people. Some people will sell you courses and stuff about this is how you win over women like this, men like this. But deep down, there's really no right way to be for someone who's just the wrong person for you. Like when I left that dude I was seeing recently, we had been on a few dates and he just basically did a 180 with his whole character. And it's like, oh, this is who you've been all along. Everything I knew about you was a facade. That hurt because here I was thinking it was real and I really liked you. Oh well. And I kind of, for a while, I beat myself up because let's just say I got snippy with them. They ended things first. I made sure it stayed ended. What the fuck? By ending thing. What the fuck? Did you see that? I hate when flies try to get in my ear. But basically, I kept thinking to myself, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have went off on him. I should have been more demure. I should have been more mindful and sweet and submissive. I should have been uncaring when he said that we should just be friends. Instead, I should have just said, oh, perfect, thank you. Oh, thank God. And I should have, played with his feelings. Wait, no, I should have been sweeter. I should have been more understanding. But then deep down, it's like I kind of only recently, after a week of feeling turmoil about it, did I actually go, no, there's nothing I truly could have done. Because let's say on that patio that morning, after the shitty experience I had with them on the third date, the morning after, no sex, just woke up on their couch, they tried to act like nothing happened in the slightest at all. Why is this fly? Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, the flies in my bedroom have been doing that all fucking day. It's like it's one thing to fly around my bedroom, but they keep trying to fly up my nose, in my eye, in my ear, or just in my face repeatedly. It's been driving me crazy for the last 3 days. I don't know which I fucking pissed off, but can you undo the curse? Thank you. It's annoying. Like I can hardly even fucking rest. Okay, sorry about that. As I was saying, if I was on his balcony, patio, whatever you call that thing, I think it's a balcony. And I remember I was dropping hints about last night to see if he wanted to talk about it, but he didn't. Why? Because he's not someone who communicates directly. I could have done a lot of different things, yeah, but it wouldn't have changed the fact that he's someone who was adamant against communication, was putting on a whole facade to try to win my attention, thought he could just put his mask back on, and then I would just forget his, bad intentional, all the bad shit he did that evening to piss me off. And simply put, he was not someone who was aiming to be mature or emotionally grounded or thoughtful or caring towards me. He was someone who wanted to fuck with me emotionally. He succeeded, just not in the way he wanted. He thought, oh, I can neg this girl and do this and do that and be rude and callous and condescending. And instead of it getting pussy, I almost threw fucking hands, but luckily we avoided that. I do know this at the very least. I'm finally at the point where it's like I'm letting go of it. It's like, okay, I liked what I thought he was. He showed me who he truly was, and there's nothing that I could have been differently to change that. Like what? At most, I could have chose to be overly sweet and repress my own emotions and my own anger and my own valid feelings just to keep around some total fucking asshole of a guy. It's like, okay, sure, I could have stayed in touch with him. We could have gone to the orchestra. We could have done this. We could have done that. But then it would still come up in the future. Because with people like that, they slip up again. Sometimes harder. Sometimes you gotta be glad that some people leave your life in the time and the way they did. Because you know deep down, if you kept them around longer and got more emotionally attached to them or thought, hey, they're acting less weird again, it's being more normal, now they're safe. No. They will find a way to fuck shit up one way or another. And it's just gonna ruin it. And you deserve a whole lot fucking better than that. That got on my nerves. Oh, I dated this guy in high school. And I remember at some point, after 3 tumultuous years on and off with him, he ruined my fucking life in high school. A lot of dumb shit. Revenge porn, this, sexual coercion, that, a lot of emotional mind games, even some instances of physical abuse, as well as verbal and emotional abuse. He was not a good guy whatsoever. And the circumstances at school where the special ed teachers kept trying to basically coerce me into dating him because he would act less hostile to the other students or act up less or do better in school when he was around me. Meanwhile, my grades were getting worse. I was slipping up. But they prioritized him because he was a boy and he had a rich family, so they were like, hey, they would I couldn't even just break up with him for being unsafe towards me. because then I would get harassed by my fucking teacher, Courtney Gamora, Skyline High School. She would insist on harassing me with texts for like a fucking week straight. I remember right as soon as like junior year let up, she was harassing me for a week straight, every single day, repeatedly during the day, being like, "Did you forgive Zachary yet? Have you talked to Zachary yet?" And alluding that, "Hey, I'm kind of in control of your grades, and I'm doing you a favor helping you out with this class and that class. I don't need to do that, but you could help with Zachary." Like, she was a fucking cunt. An evil bitch. A despicable whore. I do not like her. But I do remember at some point, like, when we did separate junior year and I did start piecing back my mental health big time after, like, things got really tumultuous with him, like, and did unrepairable damage to me. I kind of, whenever I have, like, a bond with someone end, I can get kind of sociopathic in general. I don't know. Before I had friends, I was just kind of a sociopathic person. I was calculated. I was mischievous. I was smart. I still am all of those things. I just choose to be laid back. That is a choice. Let's not fuck that up. But people like to fuck it up. And so, I remember specifically, I was like, okay, if he tries to come crawling back into my life again, I'm just gonna use him as a fucking trick. I'm gonna make him pay for every single thing: clothing, movies, tickets, food. I'm not gonna be scarce of anything. And I knew exactly what to do. I researched all this shit. I made sure my hair looked entirely different. I was like, I'm gonna get a relaxer and I'm gonna get it like straightened and pressed and curled in a unique hairstyle he has never seen on me before. I'm gonna choose the right, most luscious shade of natural looking but still like full looking lip gloss. I'm gonna wear all the right sparkly jewelry, the cute little crop top, the high waisted jeans that fit in the button, the hips just right, and show off just enough stomach where I look modest and demure, but not too much where he thinks I'm a harlot. And I'm going to look amazing. I'm going to smell amazing, be extremely soft, no hair on my body where it shouldn't be, eyebrows waxed, everything perfect. Because I wanted to fuck this man's life up. He was astonished. He was like, "Hey, to me, I just want to say I'm really, really sorry." I was like, "Yeah." And I knew exactly what to do. I knew that I had to basically forgive him off the bat and just act like I forgave him and that there was absolutely no issue between us so that he would feel safe and trusting with me, but still have an air of energy that we would never be the same again, that he had to impress me, and more. And then let's just say it actually shocked me how fast I got results. And then that entire summer, I remember he suddenly tried to become the perfect guy to me, but I never really forgave it because I kind of knew deep to my core who he was in his soul. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, I I got extra femme and more quiet and more peaceful and more demanding. And suddenly this guy's all, "Ooh, I love you, I'm obsessed with you. Why aren't you talking to me?" When just like a few months before, he was the type of guy to be like, "Fuck you, bitch. I don't need to talk to you every single day. That's delusional." But then if I didn't respond to him within 7 minutes, he'd start crashing out. It was a strange transformation. And I guess what I'm trying to lead into when I say this story is that it didn't mean that he was a good person. It didn't mean that he was a great person. It didn't mean that he changed and saw my worth and saw my value. It just means that he put on a facade to keep me around. But deep down, he was still the wrong guy for me. He was still like emotionally vacant. He still didn't give a fuck about me. He still just saw me as an object. He just saw me as a more valuable, chaseable object. And so his brain was telling him that he wants me. His ego was telling him that he wants me. But deep down, if I did say, "Hey, Zachary, guess what? I'm here. You can catch me. I'm here for you now," he would have been like, "Oh, fuck this shit," and then reverted right back into the same fucked up behaviors and seeing how much he could try to get away with fucking me over. So sometimes I've had to remind myself, like, for example, that guy I was on a date with before the recent dude, his name was Ryan. Yeah, Ryan was a cool dude. But then I remember that after things fell apart with him, I was like, "Oh no, did I not wear a cute enough outfit? Did my hair not look the best? I don't know. Oh, I must have done something wrong." But then it's like, "No, bitch, he was the one who whipped out his dick in public on the second fucking date. He was the one who got overly horny. He was the one who was trying to casually, passive aggressively pin you against the wall with his arms up. He's the creepy one." So, and it's like, he tried to make me feel bad because, simply put, after multiple times of saying that I would like to stop kissing and to like back away from me and put his dick away and all that, that I just simply had to get a little more stern with him and said, "All right, hands down, buddy." And that little reaction, and the exact same tone, cadence, and all that, followed by a smile and a thank you. He got so angry and paranoid. And then he started saying, "You're acting like I'm some rapist or something." And I said, I didn't say that at all. What do you mean? Because to me, it wasn't that big a deal. I thought, okay, he's wrapped up in his lust and he's really trying his luck, but like that's just about it. I didn't think about it until he started raging super hard and getting over dramatic. And then that kind of showed me, like, it showed me one of two things. Well, okay, how do I put this? He showed me that it must have been a much bigger deal than I was making it because he was making it a big deal. That's what men do. I'm noticing that as a red flag. If a man ever is like hesitating on a certain topic, that's like a sign. Sometimes you don't even have to do shit wrong. Because I know when I was with that Riley guy, like I remember on the first date, he got like he was such a warm energy, and then the second I asked like a little bit more about why he was moving out of his last apartment, meaningless small talk, like, "Oh, so are you moving out of the apartment just because like you like the new neighborhood, or are there other reasons as well?" Or like, "What else do you like about the new place you're moving into?" And then he got so tense and fucking snarky and shit before he eventually revealed, "I didn't want to admit that I was moving out of the place I share with my ex." And I thought to myself, that's okay, that's your ex and you're moving out, so what's the issue? The reason he was acting out so hard was because there actually is a lot more to that story. And so it's one of those, it's like, that's annoying. It's like a slim little red flag that I didn't catch immediately of like, why is this guy acting like this thing that I don't think is a big deal is such a big deal? Because it's secretly a big deal and he's trying to hide it and he's doing the worst job ever and he's projecting and snitching on himself and being overly paranoid and fucking rude, which is just making you suspect more that it is a big deal. So that's what Riley did, that's what Ryan did, and with Ryan, it simply put, yeah. And then let's just say he ghosted me after I just simply brought up like my discomfort with what happened on the second date. And at first he was apologetic, and then I just responded on some, yeah, it's okay. Like, it was a little bit creepy, but otherwise I think we could still be friends and bounce back from it. I'd still like enjoy seeing you and hanging out some more. And like, I think I said something about even still dating, but he ghosted anyway. Why? Because he didn't want to be held accountable for his actions, and he probably thought, the facade's over and she fucking hates me or whatever. But simply put, I got to dodge, like, it did hurt for a bit, and I thought, oh no, was it the way I said buddy? Did I say it in a cadence that accidentally came off as offensive? Ooh, wait, no. Or was I like too aggressive? And I had to tell myself, it's like, no, you told him more than 12 times to stop, that you wanted to stop kissing and more, and he wasn't going to stop even when you were making it obvious with your physical body language and your words that you were not into kissing more. He was going to keep trying his luck, and he was disgusting. He's just mad that he could not basically steamroll me into doing something sexual with him that I didn't want, and that I simply was not afraid to be like, all right, that's enough, buddy, and then like just simply start walking away. And once I got his arms down, so it's like, simply put, now that I think about it, that's actually a very, very bad trait. And it's actually really, really, really good that I did not, and that it's like, hey, it's thank God he ghosted me, because in hindsight, if he stuck around, that probably would have been a very bad guy. The math is not adding up to him being a good person. Some people, like, yeah. And so about the Alex situation, the guy I had the most recent date with, that embarrassment of a man, simply put, he was cool until he wasn't. And then I could have bit my tongue. I could have not said that he was an Australopithecus built motherfucker with a shag carpet sternum, ugly as fuck. I could have not said that. I could have not brought up his mommy issues, or how he's a tryhard, or how he's a pathetic loser who put on his Bumble his parents' achievements because he doesn't have any of his own yet. I could have said a lot of things. I could have done a lot different, but deep down it's like, what? I would have kept the presence of someone who deep down was going to be very bad for me. Like, even like the last date we had, when the how he pissed me off. Like, I kept thinking to myself, I don't know, what if in that moment, what if I was stern with him, would he have treated me sweeter and then been the sweet guy again? Okay, well, the facade would have dropped regardless, just later on, and it would have hurt more because I probably would have had sex with him, or had felt some sort of connection stronger by then. We should be grateful that he showed me his true colors in the dumbest way possible, and that he was stupid enough to not be a smart, talented manipulator. We should be grateful about that. I thought to myself, oh, what if I was more stern with him? What if I was sweeter towards him? What if I did this, that? What if I communicated with my words how I truly felt? Oh, cool, I probably would have been manipulated. Like hell. It's like I've thought to myself, what if I didn't tell him my body count? What if I didn't tell him about my parents? It's like, okay, he still would have been an asshole and found a way to be a fucking cunt regardless, and you would have still been trying to be the right person for someone who's absolutely wrong. Because with the right people, you can talk about what your mother did to you, or like your life and your sexual experiences, and they would not give a fuck, and they would care about you. They would not do what he did. He tried to be a fucking predator. He tried to be an asshole, and you got to dodge it because you were willing to be vulnerable and trustworthy with this man. If I was gonna try to be perfect and have the perfect responses and level-headedness in any situation ever, like, maybe I should be glad that I actually am kind of chaotic and oversharing, because why? Guess what? If I didn't tell him certain things about me and tried to let certain things be let off the hook, this or that, then it's like, cool, then we probably would have hooked up, or something would have happened, and then I would have never realized, oh, he doesn't remember anything important that I've told him about my family, my lore, my trauma, even though he's been told it 5 times. Oh, hey, he's actually very selfish in this regard. He knows I hate this and he's trying to do it anyway. Like, sometimes it's good to have moments where you're just human in yourself, because if you were trying not to be yourself and trying to like be the most ideal to someone who's not aiming to be ideal for you, then you'd be in a fucked up situation. You'd lose yourself, and then even worse, you'd get hurt in the process of trying to be perfect for someone else. Sometimes people are just fucking shitty. They're just terrible, and they want to be in your life and leech off your energy or try to use you or do anything. It's fucking strange. People are fucked up. But the good thing is, with you being you, like, it's gonna come up eventually where you'll be like, I'm such a giving and thoughtful person, and I'm really nice. I would like someone who's also nice. Like, hell, I could have decided, ooh, I'm gonna be some man-eating vixen. I'm not gonna compliment Alex. I'm not gonna boost his self-esteem. I'm gonna be mysterious, this, and that. It would have just prolonged time had with a terrible person and disrespect tolerated. And I probably would have wanted to shoot myself, because it's like, no, I actually don't. It's like I don't crave male validation or the chase or gifts as much as I do just lovely human connection. I'd rather keep bearing my soul and meeting fucked up people and then shooing them off than having fake ass connections with people who don't give a fuck about me. I don't give a fuck about them. And then all I think about is like, oh, well, they could pay for my food if I kept them around longer, and if I was more emotionally stable, and controlled my emotions perfectly and was a sociopath, I probably could have had him pay for my food or this or that. I don't want to get to that point. I know deep down I'm not I can't do that. Sometimes I see it as a flaw, sometimes it's a win. It makes me think about Daisy Buchanan in The Great Gatsby. Her character kind of knew that Tom was a fucking awful person, but he was practical. He could give her access to a life in high society and whatnot, and so she stayed with him. It was complex for her. She didn't want to, but she kind of had to. And sometimes I'll be with someone, I'll be like, I could stay with them. I could tolerate their bullshit for the financial security, but no. In fact, even last winter, I remember I had a date with this guy, and he was like, I'll give you like $100 each time you show up just to have dinner with me. And the first half was great and amazing. I thought, this guy seems really, really fun, and I like it. And then the second half, like, actually not even the half, like the very last like 10 to 20 minutes of the date, his facade dropped, and he was so rude and condescending and fucked up and shitty. And I just was like, I couldn't hold in my rage that I felt. Like, I couldn't get it out of my system, even though I knew the other side of it was that I was going to be starving for the rest of winter for several months. And but I chose to starve instead of being around that nigga. I said, fuck you and your goofy ears and your shitty personality. I don't need concealer. You need fucking surgery. And then I blocked him. He blocked me. C'est la vie. That rhymes. Even recently, I was on a date with this guy. He was mega rich. Basically, he had a fuck ton of money. Like, we went out to that restaurant I semi like, Gary Danko. And like, he was like, yeah, I have my own film production company. I have like, both of my parents are actually extremely wealthy, and he even verified that shit with me. They had like massive amounts of wealth, so he was gonna get a huge fucking inheritance. On top of that, he did really well in the stock market, the financial industry, a bunch of things. Like, he was just a very well connected man who had a lot of money. And funny enough, I'd say the first like half of the date was actually really nice. I wasn't drinking. We were having a great time just socializing. Conversation was flowing greatly until alcohol was flowing greatly. And the next thing you know, he's 8 different drinks in, just like screaming in my face, "How do you know it's your kidneys? Why aren't you drinking?" And being a fucking mess and being rude and hysterical. And I thought to myself, like, even after I went home, I thought to myself, I could tolerate this more. I could, because, like, I would like someone who has money and can take me out to, like, I don't know, Costa Rica or Catalina Island. I like he was saying that it also he was weird. He was the type of person to be like, Costa Rica is actually like super cheap to go to, but then like when I actually brought up traveling and said Costa Rica, he was like, I don't know you enough for that, and it's like that's funny because it's like, why are you telling me on the first date then that you can travel to Costa Rica super cheap and it would cost you nothing? So it's like, why do you want to go even cheaper and go to Catalina Island then? Anyway, I kind of thought to myself, this guy, you know what? He could be decent. Because I could tolerate someone who's a shithead who can take me out on like jet skis in Catalina Island. And then one day Costa Rica. And then I can even like pitch him ideas for my film scripts that I would like to make because he has the money and means. And seems like he would love to invest in a project that actually is groundbreaking. I can be that girl. But he was such a mega asshole that I couldn't help myself. I was like, thanks for embarrassing me in public by getting so fucking wasted. I see why you don't have much luck on the apps, and I see why you're going to be here for a bit longer. He unmatched me. Shit happens. But at the same time, it's like he's not the last or the first film director I've ever had on a date, film producer, whatever. There's so many people out there on this planet. You don't have to settle for just one. 7 billion people is a lot of people. It's a lot of fucking people. Like, statistical odds are there are people just like you roaming the planet, or at the very least just like what you want, and you can get them and you can have them, you know. So I'm just saying, don't lose fucking hope. Like, stop trying to mold yourself into the perfect person for someone who wants to be entitled to act however they want and do however they want and be a total fucking cunt. Thank you. Bye.